In today's video, I'll be revealing the critical decision sequence that determines whether or not you maximize or minimize your retirement income when you have multiple income sources. Through working with clients who have 401ks, Social Security, and pensions, I've discovered that the order in which you claim these benefits can mean the difference between financial security and running out of money in retirement, not to mention overpaying your income taxes. That's exactly why I'm making this video today, to show you the strategic claiming sequence that optimizes all three income sources, why most people get this order completely wrong, and the tax implications that make timing everything. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ben. I've been a practicing financial advisor for almost 20 years, and I want you to have an even better retirement. Now, if you have a 401k, Social Security, and a pension, you're in a pretty unique situation that opens doors to powerful financial planning strategies, but it also introduces some of retirement's toughest planning decisions. So really, how rare is that combination today? Well, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, as of about March 2023, about 67% of private sector workers did have access to a 401k or other defined contribution plans, but only about 15% had access to a pension. Of course, that's different in the public sector, where about 86% of state and local government workers still have access to pensions. Now, having all three, Social Security, a pension, and a 401k, that gives you both guaranteed income and flexible income, both, but only if you know how to use them together. One of the biggest advantages to having multiple income streams is the ability to control which one you turn on and when. This flexibility allows you to create a tax-efficient income ladder. You can choose to delay Social Security or your pension while strategically drawing from your 401k, or vice versa. You can fill in low income brackets with Roth conversions, reduce RMD exposure down the line, and even manage capital gains or Medicare thresholds. When done correctly, this type of planning allows you to spend confidently in retirement, especially in your early years, reduce lifetime taxes, and extend the life of your portfolio. And who doesn't want that? Your income streams become the backbone of your retirement plan. By timing them well, that's what gives you strength and agility. Now, most people think of pensions as pure upside, and they certainly are valuable. They also bring challenges. Pensions provide income that you can't outlive, and that's great for peace of mind. When combined with RMDs and Social Security, well, that income can quickly exceed your spending needs, especially in your 70s and beyond when you're taking required minimum distributions. Now, that extra income, well, that's fully taxable, which means more money in, but also more taxes out. It means higher chances of pushing into higher income tax brackets, and it means IRMAA penalties, which means you're going to pay more for your Medicare premiums. So in other words, more guaranteed income equals more guaranteed taxes unless we plan ahead. And this is where the biggest opportunities come in, what I call the golden window, those early retirement years after your paycheck ends, but before RMDs, pensions, and Social Security kick in. In this golden window, you've got maximum flexibility and minimum taxable income. That's the perfect time to potentially convert IRA dollars into Roth dollars at low tax rates, spend down your taxable accounts, realize capital gains intentionally, or what we call tax gain harvesting, and pull forward your cash flow while keeping your taxes low. Most of my clients, they just don't want to wait until their 70s to enjoy their money. These are their most active years, what we call the go-go years, as opposed to these slow-go and then followed by the no-go years. So with smart income sequencing, we can help them spend freely now and protect their lifestyle for the future. So here's the biggest mistake I see, and that's treating each income decision separately. I hear things like, well, I'll just take my pension as soon as I retire, or I'll claim Social Security at 62 just because it's there and I think I should claim it. Or I'll wait to touch my 401k until RMDs force me to take distributions because I want the biggest retirement balance possible. But retirement isn't a series of isolated choices, it's an ecosystem. Every decision affects every other decision. That's why it's critical to start with your specific goals. How much income do you want each month? Do you want to front load your spending for your younger years? Do you want to leave a legacy at death, or do you want to prioritize experiences now? Once we have answers to those questions, we can then zoom out and design a tax-smart, goal-oriented income plan that coordinates everything: investments, taxes, pensions, and Social Security. So why don't more people do this? Well, honestly, I think it's because many generalist or traditional financial advisors, they default to a one-size-fits-all approach. Collect all the income as soon as you possibly can and defer withdrawals from your 401k until you absolutely have to when RMDs hit. But that approach, I think, is rooted in outdated planning or sometimes potentially conflicts of interest, not necessarily what's best for the most income for you. So what's the result of that? Well, you'll pay more in taxes across your lifetime. You'll spend less in your most active years, which no one wants. You'll miss the chance to align your investments with your particular real retirement income goals. It's not enough to have multiple income streams. You've got to have a strategy to make everything work together. In addition to that, each income source has different rules. The 401k, that's tax deferred flexible withdrawals available at 59 and a half, sometimes at age 53, depending on your plan. Social Security, that's available at 62 or potentially 60 if you're a widow. But every year that we wait, it increases by 6 to 8% per year. You can even wait all the way until age 70, and your payments are also indexed for inflation. And of course, that's different from a traditional pension, which is often fixed, meaning that it's not adjusted for inflation, typically going to be largely taxable and might just automatically begin at your retirement if you don't have any control of that. Each is taxed differently, each has different access limitations, and each interacts with all of the other income sources. And that's why sequencing matters. You don't want to just blindly turn everything on at the same time because you're going to be surprised when your tax bill spikes and your Medicare premiums go up. So now that you understand the complexity of the three-source retirement income plan, let's examine what claiming your 401k could do for you. So compared to pensions and Social Security, 401k withdrawals are the most flexible retirement income source. You get to choose how much to take, when to take it, and where it comes from in your investment mix. There's really no fixed timeline like there is with Social Security or your pension. That flexibility is incredibly powerful, especially in the early retirement years before your other benefits begin. And as long as you're over 59 and a half, you can access those funds without any kind of a penalty, giving you a reliable bridge between your last paycheck and your first guaranteed income source. In fact, potentially depending on the structure of your 401k, you might even have penalty-free access to your investments as early as age 55. Now, in practice, 401k withdrawals often become the backbone of early retirement, especially before age 70. And for the sake of argument, I'm going to call anything before age 62 early retirement, 62 or earlier. And here's why your 401k is the backbone of your plan. Social Security is not available till 62, and the longer you wait to claim it, the better it gets. Pensions, too, sometimes don't start immediately at retirement, and they could be reduced for early claiming or further reduced for spousal options. That leaves the 401k as your bridge, and it's a really smart way to look at your investments. If you're pulling money from an account that you can control at a time of your choosing, with the ability to adjust based on market performance or tax brackets or personal lifestyle, whatever it is you're specifically optimizing for, the real magic of the 401k is the tax planning that it enables. So by taking withdrawals strategically, especially during your golden window, as we call it, you can stay within lower tax brackets. Convert to Roth IRAs, you can avoid stacking income sources that could push you into higher Medicare premiums or tax brackets later on if we want to avoid that. So let's say you retire at 60. If you delay your Social Security or your pension payments until later on, maybe even age 70, that gives you a decade to do Roth conversions and take advantage of the super low 12 or 22% rates, which are far lower than we might otherwise be if we defer taxes too long at 25 or 32% brackets. And you might hit those brackets once your RMDs are turned on and all of your guaranteed income sources, maybe 2 Social Security benefits and a pension, once that's all turned on, that might be the brackets we're headed for. So we can pull some of that income forward doing some of the strategies that we're talking about. So these conversion opportunities, they're not just a little extra credit on your taxes, right? They could literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement, especially if you're married. Now, if you're married and you think a retired couple pays a lot of taxes if they got a large 401k, plus your pension, plus Social Security, well, wait till you see how much taxes you'll pay after the death of the first spouse. We call that the widow's tax, and it can get out of hand pretty quickly. So by focusing on taxes early while you're in your golden window, you're reducing those future RMDs, giving yourself more control of your taxable income into your 70s and beyond. And that's where modeling different scenarios really makes all the difference. It's not about finding the one best answer. It's about optimizing for your specific income goals, your pain for risk tolerance or for taxes, and just for your overall lifestyle. Now, before I move on, this claiming sequence could impact hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime income over your retirement. Click the link in the description below. You can book a call with me directly, and I'll analyze your specific situation and show you the exact steps that you need to take to fully optimize your retirement plan as a whole. Now let's shift to your pension and watch the quiet workhorse in multi-income source retirement planning. Pensions are incredibly valuable in income sequencing for one big reason. They reduce your income uncertainty. Unlike a 401k where you're responsible for market performance and withdrawal timing, a pension gives you predictable, guaranteed income for life. And that reliability brings peace of mind and planning power. It can act as the foundation of your retirement paycheck, giving you the security to make smarter, more flexible decisions with all of your other income sources. So here's a great example that I see with clients. You've got a pension covering potentially most or maybe even all of your monthly living expenses. That means that you're not forced to take Social Security at 62 just to make ends meet like many people are. Instead, you can choose to delay Social Security until full retirement age or maybe age 70, locking in those 8% incremental per year delayed retirement credits. The pension removes income anxiety, which creates breathing room for better decision making. While 401ks are flexible, they can also, of course, be volatile, right? Markets drop, your spending needs can change, and your withdrawal strategy will likely need some tweaking over time. Now, pensions, on the other hand, well, they don't fluctuate. You don't have to manage them, you don't have to worry about them. That stability makes them incredibly valuable, especially for risk-averse retirees or maybe couples that are trying to plan around one spouse's longevity. This is where it gets more strategic. Now, most pension options give you several payout options. You have the single life annuity, that's just one person, one life. Joint and survivor, that's two people, two lives. Period certain guarantees, or in some cases, a lump sum. Lump sum options were honestly more attractive when interest rates were a little bit lower, because the lower the rate, the higher the lump sum offer. If you're curious about how that math works, let me know in the comments and I'll do a deep dive on pension versus lump sum in a future video. So of those choices that I just mentioned, which one that you choose impacts your entire retirement income plan? If you're married, a joint and survivor option might slightly reduce your monthly benefit, but it protects your spouse if you pass away first. Choosing a lump sum gives you flexibility, but it shifts investment risk back onto your shoulders. So the right choice really depends on what are your unique health and longevity expectations, what other income sources do you have access to, is one spouse significantly younger or healthier than the other spouse, and what are your needs for flexibility versus guarantees based on your own risk tolerance. And of course, the pension amount and start date also affect your tax situation, especially when combined with RMDs, required minimum distributions, and Social Security later in retirement. There are situations where prioritizing your pension makes the most sense. If you're retiring before age 62 and you need immediate stable income, you should probably turn it on sooner. If your pension fills the income gap until Social Security starts, probably should turn it on sooner. Also, if your pension has a Social Security offset, that's where your pension automatically reduces at full retirement age to then account for those new benefits. If deferring Social Security also gives you better long-term overall results, you should probably turn it on sooner. So here's what it all boils down to. Pension income gives you stability and space. It removes the urgency to collect Social Security early, allowing you to wait for the optimal claiming age. And it gives you a reliable income floor so that the rest of your retirement plan can operate more strategically, not reactively. When layered properly, a pension can help you spend more, stress less, and stay tax smart all the way through retirement. Understanding pension advantages is crucial, but Social Security's unique delayed retirement credits create compelling reasons to optimize its timing above all other sources. Now, Social Security is unlike any other retirement income source because of its one key feature, delayed retirement credits. For every year that you delay Social Security past full retirement age all the way up until age 70, you receive a guaranteed 8% increase in your monthly benefit. This isn't based on market performance or any investment assumptions. It's just something that's built directly into the system. That kind of risk-free, inflation-adjusted lifetime income growth is virtually impossible to match anywhere else. In fact, if that was a product that you could purchase, you'd have people lined up around the block to buy something like that. And that's why Social Security is often the last income source that I recommend clients turn on. One of the most overlooked reasons to delay Social Security is the impact on the surviving spouse. Once the spouse passes away, the surviving spouse keeps the higher of the two Social Security benefits. If the higher earner delayed their benefits all the way until age 70, well, that larger benefit now becomes a permanent inflation-adjusted income source for that surviving spouse. That's why I don't use break-even analysis, especially for married couples. It's not about hitting some arbitrary age like 80 or 82. The truth is, there's a very good chance that one of you lives well beyond that break-even age. And the benefit that you claim today impacts both of you for decades. Delaying your benefit, especially if you are the higher earner, is one of the most powerful ways to protect you and your spouse's future. In my planning approach, I often recommend deferring Social Security for three key reasons. One, you can do more tax planning. Deferral gives us a decade-long window well after your paychecks from work end, but before RMDs and Social Security start, and we can use that time to do Roth conversions, capital gains harvesting, and we can do all that at favorable tax rates. This is our number one advantage over the IRS. The next reason we defer is for spousal security. Delaying that higher earner's benefit builds lasting protection for that surviving spouse, especially for long retirements. And then finally, number three, sequence management. Social Security can act as an ace up our sleeve, ready to deploy when we're hit with an unexpected market downturn, especially when we're dealing with a smaller benefit if we're working with a married couple. So now that you understand this decision framework, let's make sure you can correctly apply it to your specific situation. So when you're trying to coordinate 401k pension, and Social Security? Well, there's no universal answer, but there is a universal process. So here's how to build a smart strategy. All right, number one, start with a personalized assessment. Begin with your health, your family longevity, your lifestyle goals, and current versus future tax brackets. Rather than running a break-even analysis on one type of income, zoom out, evaluate your full income picture across your 401k, your pension, and your Social Security, while factoring in taxes, healthcare, and your spousal protection needs. Number two, design a delay strategy if you can afford it. Ask yourself, can your portfolio cover your early retirement so that you can delay your other benefits? If so, this unlocks powerful planning tools like Roth conversions in your low-income years, sequencing of your strategic withdrawals, pension and Social Security deferral to maximize long-term income, and of course, reduce your taxes. Number three, coordinate income streams with tax planning. Timing absolutely matters. Your strategy should align Roth conversions during the golden window that we talked about, pension start dates, delayed Social Security, and smart coordination can cut your lifetime tax bill significantly, as I've shown in previous videos. Number four, protect your spouse with integrated decisions. So every decision from pension survivor elections to Social Security timing should be made with spousal protection in mind. Maximizing that higher earner's Social Security benefits and choosing the right pension option ensures income stability if one spouse passes away first. Remember that we start retirement as Fleetwood Mac, but we end retirement as Stevie Nicks. If you're a little younger, we start retirement as Destiny's Child, and we end retirement as Beyonce, right? There's a lot of tax impact that goes along with the death of a first spouse. We want to make sure that doesn't catch us by surprise. Number five, implement early and adjust along the way. Start planning 3 to 5 years before retirement. This gives you time to prepare, avoid just the default options, and adjust as needed. Life changes, and so should your retirement plan. Review it annually to stay aligned on tax brackets, income flow, and legacy goals. When your 3 income sources are coordinated, you get more income earlier on in retirement, which means more fun. That's why we saved up the money in the first place. Lower lifetime taxes, stronger survivor benefits, and that's confidence that your plan is strategic, flexible, and built to last. This is how you maximize income without outliving your money or leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. So now that you understand the strategic framework for optimizing 401k, Social Security, and pension claiming sequences, you can maximize your retirement income instead of leaving a lot of money on the table. So if you've got multiple income sources and you want to optimize your claiming strategy, go ahead and click on the link in the description below. You can book a free call with me, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do to optimize your plan. So once again, my name's Ben. I hope this video helped to make your retirement even better, and I'll see you on the next one.